Emmy nominee Nicole Byer. Nicole, you are nominated this year for hosting and producing the competition series Nailed It, and for writing your variety special, Nicole Byer, BBW, Big Beautiful Weirdo. Tell us, what was your reaction on Emmy nominations morning? Because you have been nominated before. So is it still kind of the same thrill as it's always been?
I mean, it's always really nice when people are saying your work is good and we like it and we think it deserves to be recognized. It was funny. I didn't find out till way later
Mm.
because I woke up and I never wake up in the morning and I turn off my phone accidentally or I turned it on airplane mode. I can't remember, but my agent had texted me. So I got a lot of texts coming through and I was like, wait, what happened? And I was like, ooh, yay, Nailed It was nominated. I was nominated. And then I was like, oh my God, my special was nominated. And that was just really, really nice because I spent a lot of time on it and I was really, still am very proud of it. And yeah, it just means a lot. It's really
Mm.
nice.
Let's dive into Nailed It first. So you do get to choose an episode to submit to the voters as for your hosting category, and you submitted the season 6 premiere, Impossible Cakes. That's the one that was the dog theme, where your dog Clyde, they made him,
Yes.
and that was also the Wayne Brady guest judge. What was it
Mhm.
about this episode that made you submit it?
It was one specific joke where I said, wait, is she putting cocoa butter in that cookie? And Wayne Brady said, yeah, I don't want, Black people don't like ashy cookies. And then Jacques goes, I don't get it. And it made me laugh really, really hard. It was between that and this one with this contestant named Laquita, who was so
Mhm,
funny.
mhm.
She just gave me so much to play with. And that's a huge testament to like our casting department. They cast these people who are just so delightful, so down to like not make fun of themselves, but they're not taking themselves so seriously that it takes the wind out of everything. Oh wait, no, wait, is that the same episode? Wait, is it? It starts with the animal cookie. I've done so many episodes that I get them confused. That
Mhm.
might be the same episode. I think Laquita was on that episode. Then what
I
was it
know the one you're
originally?
referring to because there's this moment where you're like, Laquita.
Yes. And I
Yeah.
think Wayne Brady was there because I think I was like, Laquita, how dare you disrespect Wayne Brady like that? There were just so many fun things in that episode.
Mhm. People of all ages love Nailed It, from grandparents to my niece and nephew, Alice and Henry. They are huge fans. What does that mean to have, all different kinds of people watching your show?
I think it's really nice. It's a testament to I don't know, to like being able to transcend generations. I also like to think that like it legitimizes how funny I am because kids tell you the truth. And I'm like, a bunch of kids think I'm pretty funny. So any adult who doesn't think I'm funny, you're wrong.
Your partner in crime on the show is Jacques Torres, the
Yes.
famous French chocolatier. What is Jacques like off camera? Is he just as fun and lovable?
Oh, he is truly a delight off camera, like just a real treat. He's just one of the nicest people I've ever met. Anytime he's in town, he cooks for me, or if I'm in New York, he'll cook for me. He's got 2 kids and he's just like so full of love. Honestly, he's one of like he's a very special person in my life and I hold him near and dear to my heart, and I feel very lucky and fortunate that I get to work with him as often as I do because he is just this genuine gem of a human being.
Hmm. One of the running jokes on the show is your special relationship with Wes, one of the crew members. Where did
Uh-huh.
this flirtmance start from? And can you teach me how to say his name? Because it's not Wes, according to
No,
your
it's
pronunciation.
you have to like whistle it. Whoosh. So it came from the first season. Wes is the AD. He's the AD on set. He's the assistant director. He's the one on the floor telling me what I need to be doing. He's the one who's like, Nicole, we need you in 5. Where are you? Or you're running late. Like he's the one who's like in charge. And it's funny, guest judges come and they're like, oh, we didn't know you were actually working. And I'm like, yeah, this man is just trying to do a job. And I'm like screaming for him all the time. But the first season, we didn't know who was going to bring out the trophy. So our director at the time was like, Wes can just bring it out. So then they were like, call for Wes. And I was like, okay, Wes. And truly after like half a day with me, he was like, oh my God, Nicole, you're insane. And then I think I just terrorize him. I feel like I'm like the little sister he's never wanted or asked for. But yeah, like almost immediately we were both like, oh, we get each other sensibilities and senses of humor. So like, is that okay to play with? And there's been times I'm like, was that an okay joke? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And then he was like, on my podcast, why won't you date me? So I really adore him. I think I'm lucky. I'm surrounded by just like the most delightful people. Our guest judges are delightful. It's just fun.
That's why I'm glad the show is nominated too for competition series, because everyone kind of shares in that reward.
Mm-hmm.
After 6 seasons hosting the show, what would you say is the biggest mistake that contestants keep making year after year, season after season?
I think the biggest mistake they make, honestly, is not greasing cake pans, because that's just an easy mistake that you can fix. Like, your cakes won't break if you just grease your cake pans. And let's see, that, and then underestimating how big the cake actually is. And then not having a strategy. So like, if I look at something that I need to recreate or whatever, I'm gonna go, because we did this like a YouTube episode where I had to carve a cake or whatever, but I'm gonna look at the thing I have to make and then go, what can I do? And what can I not do? And then you don't do the hardest parts of the cake. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You've had some fun celebrity contestants over the years, like Jack McBrayer, Joey King. Is there going to be maybe some more celebrities in the future? And if so, who would you love to see, make a fool of themselves on Netflix?
Well, I don't think anyone's making a fool of themselves. I think I think we should all normalize not being perfect at hobbies. I pole dance and I roller skate. I'm very bad at both. But I'm not going to stop doing it because I enjoy it. It brings me joy. But that being said, I would love to see Beyonce be like, I ran to the blast chiller and I put my cakes in there, but they did not get cool. So my buttercream melted. I would love to hear Beyonce explain to me what went wrong in the kitchen for her.
Oh, that would be your most viral episode ever. And do you have any advice for people who want to audition in the show? Is there anything that you look for as potential contestants?
Well, I am not involved in the casting process, but I would say I'm pretty sure our casting director is looking for someone who's like authentically themselves. Those are the best people who aren't putting on something, who are just fun and there for a good time. And I like people who come going, I have nothing really to win. I have nothing really to lose. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm here basically for the experience. Mm-hmm. And I could go home with nothing. That's what I came here with. Or I could go home with a little bit more money. And that's like a nice cherry on top of like a really fun day, because our days are really fun.
So switching gears to your comedy special, let's start with the title, Big Beautiful Weirdo. What is it about that title that made you say that is the one?
I was running through titles and I was like, big, bodacious body. Like I was like stuck on the B's. And then I was like, well, in porn, BBW is it's a big, beautiful woman. And I was like, well, why not use that, but change woman to weirdo, because I am a little weird. And I think it describes me really well, where it gives you like, it's like a little salacious, but then it's just like an adorable title.
And you filmed it in New York, and that is where you started out doing comedy. And so was it kind of a rewarding full circle moment to go back to that city and film this huge special for Netflix?
Oh, absolutely. It was like, New York is my home. The time before that I performed in New York was like the New York Comedy Festival, where this lady heckled me and I asked her to leave. And I was like, you will not disrespect me in my fucking house. And the crowd was like, woo! Like, it was just, I love New York. I love New Yorkers. They're the best crowds. They're willing to go weird with you, take whatever turns you want to take. But it did feel like this beautiful full circle moment because yeah, it's where I started doing improv. I was living in New York when I started doing stand-up. So it just felt really nice.
Mm. And we all lived through the pandemic together, and there's not a lot of laughs these days, but watching your special, I literally laughed out loud multiple times. I think my favorite jokes were the ones where you were getting drunk on the plane and then the aftermath in the airport. What's a personal highlight of yours from the special?
To be honest, I really like that I was able to workshop like current stuff, but kind of make it evergreen. I think if you revisit it like 10 years from now, I think you'll be able to still relate to some of the pandemic material. I also, one of my favorite jokes is the Black Lives Matter joke because I was doing shows and I was like, the weirdest thing about the protests in 2020 where a lot of white friends were reaching out saying it, like asking me if I was okay. And I was like, and it was weird. And then someone in the crowd, a Black person, was like, me too. And I was like, really? So then we had like a dialogue about it. And then every show I did after that, I would just ask, like, are there Black people in the crowd? Did this happen? And every single show, people were like, yes. And I was like, this is such a fun thing that we can all share. And then another favorite joke is my Karen joke. That one, my best friend Sashir Zameda, she was like, so the way it originally was, it didn't have all of the thing, whatever, it was a shorter joke. And she was like, I think you need to blow out the world. And then the Benny joke. And then I really love my abortion joke. I really love, I really love the material that I was able to put in and workshop and have fun with.
Was there, I'm sure there was stuff that went on the cutting room floor, right? Because you can only fit in a certain amount of time. Was it hard to do the cuts and do the edits?
Yeah, so I think it came in an hour and 10 or 15. So I started like cutting into jokes. But then I was like, oh, that fucks up the pacing, that fucks up the feel of it. So I cut 2 whole jokes out of it. And then I wanted to do, I did an encore for my second show. And I told my favorite joke that sometimes doesn't go well, but it like crushed. And I wanted that to go at the end of the credits. And then Netflix was like, I mean, you ended so nicely. Do you really want to put this joke in there? It's a pedophile joke. And I was like, I guess not. So now I just have it. And I love it. It kills, and I don't know if I'll ever do it.
Let's talk comedy influences. What stand comedians do you really look up to and think, this is who I aspire to be?
I don't know if I aspire to be anyone besides myself, specifically because I have just a weird, unique point of view. But I love Bernie Mac is a huge influence. I just love how much of himself he was. And the Bernie Mac show is so funny and it holds up. Steve Harvey is an incredible comedian. Just like him on Family Feud, he does multiple shows a day. He's funny in every single one of them. He's an incredible straight man who's like sets you up for a joke as well. Conan O'Brien is so funny. Tina Fey is funny. Monique, I think, is incredible. The Queens of Comedy, some more like Adele Givens. Adele Givens has this incredible Def Jam comedy set where I don't want to ruin the joke, but it's a joke about a whale and a tic tac, and literally people are running around. And in my living room, I like stood up and was like, ah! Like I love her so much. I watch that joke a lot because she should be a star. Like she's so fucking funny. There's so many. My friend Mateo Lane is so fun. I know we're contemporaries, but like he just like makes me want to try harder. My friend Christy Cello makes me want to try harder. Sashir makes me want to try harder. I'm just really lucky to have so many like awesome people in my life that like push me to be better.
I love, you mentioned Conan, your relationship with Conan O'Brien was so funny. I loved every time you were on that show. There's not a lot of female talk show hosts. I'm sure you've noticed this. Is this something that you would ever want to do, like be a late night talk show host?
I don't know. A lot of a lot of things in my career weren't necessarily things I thought I'd be good at. Like my very first job, Girl Code, I didn't really understand the whole talking head thing, but I cut together well and I was on all the seasons. Never did I think I'd be hosting a show, a cake competition show. Never thought I'd host Wipeout. So a lot of things in my career I've been like, okay. So yeah, sure. I mean, I think I'd have fun. I have the practice. I've had a podcast for like 5 years where I'm just interviewing people. Yeah, I think it would be fun.
And final question, do you have any words of advice for any big, beautiful weirdos out there who may be watching this interview?
Yes. Do not dim your light. Do not minimize yourself or make yourself smaller. Also, people don't know what they want until you make them aware of you. There's so many different actors and actresses and presenters or whatever who you might not think of as a typical person who works in that field, but like they were just so undeniably good that people wanted them. And if one door closes, there's 100 million more doors. And also ask for more money. If they offer you $10, they have 20 to give you.
Nicole, thank you so much. I am rooting for you at the Emmys. I want to
Thank
see
you.
you
I
up
will
on that
lose
stage.
to RuPaul again, but it's my favorite tradition.
I would love to see you give a speech someday.
One day.